Convergence is the key factor affecting compliance in developed and emerging markets today. For a generation, the U.S. government has been pushing countries around the world to adopt U.S. standards around antitrust, around anti-bribery and corruption, around anti-money laundering, and around intellectual property rights. The U.S. government believed, quite correctly, that companies that had a free pass on compliance had a significant competitive advantage over companies held to U.S. standards. U.S. pressure yielded little in the way of concrete progress. But for reasons unrelated to this, governments in developed and emerging markets in Asia, in Europe, and in Latin America especially are bringing into line with U.S. standards, legislation related to good governance, and more importantly, the enforcement of legislation is being beefed up. In Asia, prosecutors in China are in the midst of multiple corruption probes targeting more than 5,000 officials and executives. In Europe, regulators are targeting price-fixing cartel. In Latin America, the enactment of a new anti-bribery law prompted the German construction company to tell regulators it had bribed officials to win contracts ahead of the 2014 World Cup. For corporates and for private equity firms and their portfolio companies, compliance risk has never been higher. Heightened franchise risk, divestment risk, and personal risk for board members is complicating fundraising, exits, and M&A. It's impacting careers as well. That's why Poseidon has worked with leading corporates and private equity firms to develop a compliance solution that helps them assess, monitor, manage, and minimize their risk in developed and emerging markets alike.